Tomorrow, Professor Gordon's class is discussing accommodation of service animals under the ADA. And to do that, we'll start our research in Westlaw. We'll review starting with secondary sources as a great way to start your research, because if you type in ADA compliance, you'll see how Westlaw is already suggesting great guides, secondary sources, practice and compliance manuals like this one here that can jumpstart our research. We'll review how you can browse a secondary source by the table of contents or the index, but we can also use those tools and see them come together in the single search bar up here, so that way we can run a search for service animal. We can see that it is discussed in many different sections and that we can start our inquiry in the section that says generally. Notice as well, 482 is followed by 483 where animals are allowed to go. So we can see here in these initial results that there are many sections in the same chapter, and you can see that along the table of contents along the left-hand side here. Accommodation of service animals is an analytical framework, a way of thinking about this problem that says, what is a service animal? What are the statutes? What are the regulations? What are maybe some of the cases that interpret it? Are you telling me there was a case about a miniature horse? Very interesting. And you can see here some of these illustrations that can help you get an understanding of what is discussed in this source. Sources that would normally take us a lot of extra searching and looking around to try and find. Notice as well, where animals are allowed to go might be something else that would be part of the problem that we were working on. Maybe inquiries about disability or service animal, because maybe what types of disabilities are covered, what types of animals are a service animal, what sort of exceptions are there, and then apparently, again, something about miniature horses, because that's always very interesting. We will also review a source called Practical Law, and noticing that these practice areas like labor and employment might give you a practical application of the ADA to that context and some expert guidance like recent developments in reasonable accommodation of psychiatric disabilities and other recent cases like the service dog case here that is discussed over here. Plenty more that we'll talk about in class tomorrow, but just as a quick review, again, using a great secondary source on Westlaw and then some sources in Practical Law to jumpstart your research. Best of luck tomorrow. Talk with you soon.